kids and creative parents. We are back with another spring craft. I am Yolanda, and we are here at the Georgetown Scott County Public Library. And so you can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. All right, so the fun craft we have today is the dancing owl. And you'll notice he stands out by himself. And he does so because he has a clothespin to help him dance. All right, so what you're gonna need is 4 different colors of construction paper, or this is what I'm using. If you want your owl to be all the same color, that is up to you. So, you need some googly eyes. You don't have to have googly eyes. You can actually make your own eyes out of paper. But we have googly eyes today. You need 1 clothespin. Okay, so you'll need some scissors. And you'll also need a glue stick, hot glue. This is the parent job again. You're not going to use a lot of hot glue, just dabs here and there for stability. So, but parent job, and then a marker so you can embellish things. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to get your accordion body. And a lot of you've probably already done things like this where you've created the rounds and made really cute little decorations. So let me show you what I did. Take a whole sheet, because I only use quarters with this, and I'm going to show you how to get that without having to measure. Fold end to end, also end to end, and you just work your lines so that you can actually take it off a quarter at a time. Now, I told you, if you remember in the beginning, 4 different colors. That was for me because I wanted to have kind of a springy looking owl. But if not, if you're just going to do it out of like white paper and let them color the paper, then you can just quarter the paper itself like this. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to just, and go long ways. This is the thing you need to know, is that you're going to want to just go back and forth. And again, I'm sure that some of you have done this, but this is not hard. It's just a little time consuming, so I'm not going to do both ends. After I show you this one, then I'm going to show you how you put them, what it ends up looking like. And so then you come up with this kind of deal. And then you're going to fold end to end like that. So, and there you go. There's the middle. So then you're going to take your glue stick, and again, you're going to need a lot of glue stick to get it to stay down. And so then you wipe off that excess. But then you come up with your first side. Hold the middle if it wants to pull apart like that. So this is the quarter, and that's what that would look like. So you can use that, and if you need to, you can create another one and do a half. If you another half if you want it to be bigger. So what I used for this one was a half sheet, and I accordioned it to make it bigger. That was just the smaller. Okay, so once you do both sides, both colors, or the top half, which is the face, and the bottom, which is the body, you're going to then glue them at the seams together, because they're going to make a little fan that you can then unfold to where it looks just like a half fan. And then you're going to glue them together. So the other thing you can see is it's a little flopsy, and this is where we're going to use our hot glue. Right in the middle of the colors where they meet, like this teal needs to be glued to itself, just for stability's sake. The other thing, it happens with the blue too. You do the same thing. All right, there we go. And there we have a body that is much more stable. So now what we're going to do is create the little belly part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use yellow this time for the belly. I don't know if I used yellow on there. It looks green. So I'm going to use yellow. So I'm going to get, kind of just eyeball it, cutting, and you can tell I'm using like all the cast-offs. You can just use all your cast-offs. fold it in half, and then just cut. And if this is not big enough, or if it's too big, you can cut it down. See, I think that's a little too big, so I'm just gonna cut it down just a wee bit. So there. There you go. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, parents, this is for you, just glue on that center line and get his little belly centered on there. And choose whichever side is the prettiest to you, because one probably will be more pretty than the other. So once I have that top on there, then you can see this is a weird way to glue. So again, parents, this is a job for you. You just glue it where it's going to stick to the paper. All right. So we're going to leave this to dry just a little bit and set that aside. Now we're going to go to our clothespin. It's just a regular old clothespin. But what you're going to do is pull down, and this is probably an older child or a parent. See how that did that? So you pull down, and this makes your stand, and it doesn't like it, but you're getting it in that groove so that it's like that. See, it'll stand it up. So in order for it to not keep snapping like that, this is what I did. Put a little dot of glue in there on both sides, and then I let it lay down. So while I'm going ahead with my owl here, we are going to let that dry. All right, so we have glued our top and our bottom, and we've got his little belly on. So the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and I'm going to go ahead with my marker and just put his little feathers, his fake feathers. And this can, the kids can do however they like, whatever looks good to them. But I just did it kind of like graduating down. So it looks like his little belly is puffed out with feathers. All right. And so next we're going to create Beak. This is just a simple way to do it. Now I'm going to switch back. I want my beak to be green. So you get a little quarter fold like this. I'm going to cut just a sliver down like this and fold it in half, edges together, and then cut. Again, I know some of you have probably done that in crafts, but that's the easiest way I've seen to make a beak. Oops. So there you go. There's our beak. We'll set that aside, because while we still have it, go ahead and cut that extra edge, and we're going to make his ears. These are going to be his little hoop ears. So we'll set those aside as well. And then one more. I keep using edges because it's just the easiest way to do it. Let me cut here. And I folded that so I could have another edge, and I'm going to show you. So then, just cut off edge, and these two little edges are going to be his little feet. Let me show you. Just triangles, lots of triangles. So then I'm going to cut in and make two triangles that will make his feet. There's one little foot, little dancing foot. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And here's the second little foot. So we have all of those little pieces and parts ready. So while we're at it, we may as well go ahead and put on our beak first. I thought the beak should go on first because it's kind of the center, and then you know where to put your eyes. And so then we do this. There's a little beak. And then I'm going to put his little eyes right close to it. And again, the hot glue gunning will be for the parents because it's just difficult to know to get it centered on the accordion. But once you do, it sticks just fine. So there you go. Then get the other one. So our little dancing owl can just dance this little jig. Have jiggly eyes. Again, you don't have to do the jiggly eyes. This is where you can do like the double paper to create it, and use white centers if you like to create the eyes if you don't care about having moving eyes. Alright, and now we're going to scoot him while I still can. And there, he's starting to look like our little owl. And you see all these strings. Don't get so worried about the strings. Once they dry, you can pull off easier. And again, I'm sure you guys know that from all the crafts that you've done or that you've done on your own. Alright, so he's looking up. So now I want to put his ears on. Now this I just did with glue stick. You don't need to have to do it with hot glue. Okay, and there we go. And you just pick a place. And there's your little owl ears. And then we're going to, now here's the tricky part. I would go ahead at this point and put my clothespin on it. And it's not, again, as you might expect, it might be problematic to get it to glue on, and you might think it's going to stand straight up. It may, mine did not. And so I just went ahead and let it go at an angle. That's why he's dancing. That's why we call him that dancing owl. So, right. Stick that in there. And you might have to hold that a little minute. Right on that line, and then parents, we are going to like glue that right to it. And so, hold that for a minute. And so the thing that you'll notice is that, but he doesn't have his feet yet. Well, the feet will be the very last thing you put on, because it depends on how he's going to stand as to where his feet might go. Okay, so he kind of has that tilt. So I'm going to turn him around, and I'm going to just put a little dab of glue right there and set him right down. Little foot. There we go. You can see it's kind of at an angle. It's not what you think it would be. And so my last one I actually did just glue stick on because it's kind of tapping out. It's like he's doing his own little tap dance kind of thing. So there is that. It's kind of just up in the air. There we go. So now, once we have all his parts on, then the kids can then go ahead and finish embellishing. So what I did was I put little nose holes on it, and a little tongue, and I did some little feathers in his ear. And they're kind of jaggedy because owls, if you've ever seen them, they kind of have jaggedy. So there's our little dance now. So it looks hard. It's not hard. It just takes a little time to do the parts and put them together. So I hope you guys enjoy making your own dancing owl. And more than that, enjoy spring.